Hey, what's up, card fighters, and happy holidays, Merry Christmas, depending on when you're watching this and when I post it. Most likely these videos are going to be posted either on Christmas or after like Christmas Day. But I did want to profile my YOUTHBERK list that I did take to locals. I do feel like this is probably, at least for me personally, this felt like the best list of YOUTHBERK that you can be playing with like a 46 card main right now. This is not including with the 50 card rule set. This is probably going to be like the last profile I do with the 40 card rule set. What I am going to be doing in the future of just my content is that when I do profiles like this, I'm going to be doing them 50 cards, and then I'll show you what the last 4 cards are if you did want to just like say like, hey, Bia, what are these 46 cards? What does this format deck list look like? But yeah, anyways guys, let's get into the profile of the Youth Ride Line. It's very important that you run this Ride Line now just because of how your main full blast engine pieces work. So we're going to go over the... Ooh, dropped the card there. So we're going to go over the full blast engine first, and then we're going to go over like your... I don't want to call it like non-engine because it's really not non-engine cards, but we're going to go over then the rest of your cards that I am playing in my YOUTHBERK list. So I'm playing 3 copies of Full Blast. That looks fine. 3 copies of Full Blast, 2 Tempest, 2 Gust, and 2 Zest. You can cut Zest down to 1 if you really feel like it. Like if you're that ballsy, I'm not brave enough to cut Zest down to 1, just because I just want to make sure that I always have access to these, even if I do damage any of the pieces. And then your searchers, 4 copies of Fregosa. This card's okay. I don't necessarily like Fregosa, but it's more like a necessary engine piece to help you get your 3 different names off of Full Blast's effect. But the best card in the deck is Corino. This card's busted. This card's free. This is the best card in the deck. This gets you Full Blast from drop zone or deck. This gets you any of your names that you need in Soul. So just very important that you do max out on these. So you have 8 different ways in the deck to get your 3 different colors into Soul. But yeah, this is the Full Blast engine. You don't need to run Full Blast at 4 because you could search it off of Corino, and more likely than not, you're not really doing 4 Full Blasts in one game. At least that's my reasoning for only running 3. And then 3 Persona Ride. You do still benefit from Persona Riding in this deck, especially if you can't really commit or create a back row. So yeah, Persona Rides are still just very good in the deck, and it is searchable off the Ride Line. Both the grade 1 and the grade 2, it's searchable off the Ride Line, because you can pick it up from the drop zone. And then 4 copies of Sequana. Sequana is still very good in the youth deck, quite obviously. Like 4 drive checks are better than 3, but it doesn't feel quite necessarily anymore. Like if you don't have the Sequana, like sure, you're like you wish you did have the Sequana, but it's still the same amount of pressure. But yeah, it's better to have it and not need it than to not have it. And it's still a 10k booster when you do commit a grade 3 to rear guard. So it's going to be a 23k column by itself, plus 15, 38 with Full Blast, plus Persona Ride is 48. With your Persona Ride with a front row and back row, you're making 48k rear guard columns. And then this card is so insane in this deck. 2 copies of the Yellow Cat. Yellow Cat is so broke in this deck. You can resolve this card. I have resolved this card 2 times in one game on field. Like this just helps you like turbo through your deck and help you get your key rear guards, like the grade 2s and the grade 1s and the Sequanas. Like 2 Tolpat. Like this was my 2-0 slot for like my main deck, and I was like, man, like this is, I was originally running Calbray, but this is just infinitely better than Calbray. And then we're going to move on to the Perfect Guards and the triggers. 3 DPGs, 1 Blitz Order PG. Not really much to say here. It's kind of like an auto-include now just because Drajul did in the format, and it's a really good deck in the format. And there are other decks that do have access to guard that do have access to guard restrict and triple drive. Slipped over my tongue a little bit right there. So yeah, I felt like last format you could get away with not playing it, but this format, that's not really the case anymore. And then getting on to the triggers here. Playing 4 regular heal triggers. Y'all know how I feel about it. Regular heals have never done me wrong. 4 vanilla crits. 4 regular crits. I know this isn't shiny, but the only reason I still play this one is it's my favorite Keter crit art. It's from the original Youth Trial deck. 3 effect draws, and then the Keter OT. Now, the reason that I'm running the Keter OT in Youth, I know that some lists are running the red OT or even the blue OT. And at first, I just ran this because I didn't want to take that over trigger out of my deck or out of my other decks. But as I was playing the deck and like you hyper deck thin the deck. And just hitting this, it's almost guaranteed that you're going to be hitting multiple more triggers. So I felt like this is still the best over trigger for the current for at least my current version of YOUTHBERK versus the blue over trigger or even the red over trigger, which are nice, but the extra drive checks on top of like the massive deck thing you do is just way I felt like it was just better. It just, what the deck was already doing, it just adds on to that. Draw triggers over front triggers is just a personal choice that I've made, is because you are more often than not forced to keep, because this is essentially a combo deck now, you're more often than not forced to keep hands that are not quite optimal, or, you know, it helps you draw into your pieces. It's nice when you damage them. You're not really like an advantage deck anymore. You're more of your Youth is now more of like the combo deck that like you ride up and you do your combo, you ride up and you kill, or you go for maximum pressure. And that's how it really like wins and like closes out the games now. You're not really trying to out advantage your opponent. You're not really trying to like board control or anything like that. The playstyle of this deck drastically changed with the inclusion of Full Blast and his grade 2 and grade 1 support cards. So I just felt like draws felt like really nice in this deck. I haven't run into a situation where I was on the deck out route. There was one game where I was like extremely close to deck out, but if I didn't win that turn, I would have lost next turn regardless. But yeah, this is my my Full Blast list, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We're very close to that 1K mark. We are going to be doing a playmat giveaway. This playmat that y'all see right here, the channel mat, we're going to be doing that at the beginning of next year when we do hit that 1K mark. We're really close, guys. I do have that sneaking suspicion that we are going to be hitting it sooner rather than later. And yeah, get ready for more 50 cards content in the near future. So like really stay tuned after the holidays, because that's what we're really gonna be enjoying / grinding until Divine Z comes out. But anyways, guys, I hope y'all have a happy holidays, a Merry Christmas. Later.